Hello, can we get settled kindly so we could try this? Hello, folks. Not to cut into your networking, but we'd really love to begin the next one, which is the Global Creators Panel. So if you could kindly settle, if you could be so kind. Thank you. Great. Welcome to the Global Creatives Panel. My name is Manifest once again. And we have tried, this is the third time we're trying this. At some point, Susan and I realized that Giant Steps was definitely global in nature, and there was a lot of interconnectedness with creators and entrepreneurs from all over the world. And we thought it would be brilliant to be able to let folks who might not be able to fly in to join us give us some perspectives from other places in the globe, people who are creative entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial creatives. And today we have a fantastic group of people from 4 different countries and 2 continents, I believe. But just in case any of them is in a different country, then I believe we're going to begin by each of them introducing themselves and what they do and where they are currently. A 45-second introduction. So we'll start with LC.
Hi everybody, my name is Alcide. I'm an artist mixing calligraphy and
Hold on a second, LC. Marcus, audio please. Can you? Technology challenge. Okay. I think it's working now. Okay, Elsie, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? We're good?
Yeah.
So yeah, my name is Alcide. I'm an artist mixing graffiti and Arabic calligraphy. And the essence of my work is messages. So I try to write messages wherever I go on walls in the street, and I always try to make sure that the message that I write are relevant to the people and to the place where I'm painting. So there's no one message in particular, but this is mainly something that is relevant to the people from the place I'm painting. That's what I do.
Thank you. Nadine? The echo.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nadine. I'm from South Africa, Cape Town. I'm in Cape Town at the moment. I work as a documentary filmmaker, and my work focuses on social ills, history, and identity. And I'm also currently chairperson of the Documentary Filmmakers Association of South Africa, and we have just under 200 members in our association. Yeah. So yeah, mostly my passion and focus is documentary film.
Colin?
Hi everyone, my name is Colin Sekajugo. I am a visual artist and a social entrepreneur. I am from both Uganda and Rwanda, and currently I'm sitting here in Kampala where I'm talking to you from. My work mainly focuses on art that actually transforms society. That's what I've been doing for the last 8 or so years, both in Kigali, Rwanda, and here in Kampala, Uganda.
Great. I think we might have lost Nicole for a second, but she'll join us. So let's just launch in. Basically, this panel is meant to join together some of the themes that we are talking about in other panels, just to get global perspective. So the first question I have for you is basically about resilience. I mean, how do you stay motivated in keeping pushing forward in spite of challenges and setbacks? I mean, basically, how do challenges change after the first taste of success, and how do you face them? And I want each of you to try answering this in about 2 minutes, if you can.
Who do we start with?
Anybody who is the brave person to begin.
Sure. Go ahead.
Hello?
All right, let me go. Can I go? Yeah?
No. Sure, go.
I think I lost the sound.
Yeah, I think I've also lost sound, I think.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Colin, can you go first, please?
Okay. Well, according to your question, I think personally it's always been about always staying in tune with my inner self. I mean, I spent a couple years trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to be in society, and then when I heard my calling, I realized that I belong to the creative industry, and that's where I am today. So I've always wanted to keep myself afloat in this industry. So that has always been the, an instant reminder for whenever I went through some hard times, and that's how I've stayed, as an artist as I am today.
Thank you. Elsie, perspectives on challenges, staying motivated.
Yeah, I guess like you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I always try to remind myself how how it was when I started. I used to pay for myself. It's not like a good job. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I always try to remind myself how everything started. You know, when I started graffiti, it was never for anything. There was like no social media. You used to paint for yourself, share with your friends, share with your family, and it didn't go like further than that. And I used to have back in the days a 9 to 5 job, and I was dying into it. And my only motivation was actually the only thing that I was waiting was the weekend, so I could go paint, you know. And then like with the rise of the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and everything, you get this communication around your work that you don't expect at the beginning. And that's what I try to do. I try to keep the same spirit that I used to have when there was nothing before, when I used to paint for myself, and that's how it goes, I think, and how to to keep it up and to keep pushing forward. You always need to question yourself and not stay in your comfort zone, and that's, I think, the most difficult thing to do, to always renew yourself and always question your intention, I guess. I think that the intention is something that is really important into my work. Why do I do what I do? What is the purpose behind it? Is it for fame? Is it for success? Is it for money? Or is it for something different? That's how it goes in my mind when it's about challenge.
Thank you. Nadine, the question to you, and if you have a specific example of a challenge you faced and how you kept pushing, that would also be great.
Yeah, I think what else Steve said, it's like I think just remind yourself to know why you're doing what you're doing in the first place, right? And that keeps you motivated. But a specific example is a year or two ago, us group of freelancers here in Cape Town, we used to meet up on a regular basis. We were a group of filmmakers, poets, and there was a journalist in the group as well. And we would meet up, I think, twice a month to kind of just reflect on our processes. And I think that really kept us motivated, because sometimes as freelancer you work on your own, or like it gets pretty tough. And so that group was really important for keeping us all motivated and to checking in, like, okay, you spoke about this last time, how's that going? Yeah, that group was, that helped me, I think, remain motivated and to just hearing what other people are going.
Okay. So we're going to get into another question about media. Navigating media. How you've approached it. I'm particularly interested in possible setbacks you've had and how you've learned to deal with that. Colin?
Can you come again? Please.
Actually leaving the room to avoid the feedback. So just give me a second. Technology overload. Okay. So basically, the question is about navigating media and how you've dealt with new media and traditional media. Possible setbacks you've had, and how has helped you to your approach towards media. So Elsie?
Like media, today I guess we have the best PR in the world, which is like all the social media, from Facebook to Instagram, Twitter.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. And for me, like how it started, like I remember like a few years ago, I tried to use the media in a really specific way, like to try to spread my work as much as I could. And I remember back in the days, like a lot of institution, museum and stuff, they used to have a Facebook page, and most of them, when they didn't put them in private, so anybody can come and upload his work on any museum, any gallery page on Facebook. And actually, one of the first commission that I got was like that. I uploaded my work on the Museum of Islamic Art of Doha, and I think like 1 year or 2 years later, they reached me because somebody found this picture in their file. And today, like the most challenging thing I guess on the social media is to stay. I mean, to be here without excess. You know, like showing that you're still active, that the people who follow you, like they always get an update of what you got, but not putting too much. You know, and not putting irrelevant posts. For example, there is a lot of young artists that I know, like I think the youngest they do that. They post sometimes a status on Facebook saying, I'm thinking of planning, of sketching something that I'm thinking of doing. You know, like something that makes not any sense. You know, like they didn't do anything, but they're already posting that they're thinking of something. And I guess this is the biggest challenge, like to make sure that you're consistent and what you're posting on the social media is always the same, so you always reflect the same image in every post.
Thank you. Nadine?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about Facebook and social media with the same challenging, so that people know. I don't really have a Facebook page for my company, but I have for different projects that I'm working on. Also, at the same time, I'm aware that when you post in your personal capacity, it can emphasize or reflect what I want at the same time.
Are you okay?
No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Sorry, you are hearing a feedback. I'm asking Marcus to mute it. Sorry, folks. This is the kind of challenges we have. But we try and get as much useful information from our panelists as possible. Oh, Nadine.
Yeah.
You can go.
Nadine. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Nadine?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Answer.
Also, one of my other involve taking community on your social media platforms. I'm doing so I'm doing those part of kind of the making of, so that when the film is eventually released, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about the feedback. Colin?
Yes. I was privileged to learn skills back in 1990, and that was in days. And it was a very rare idea because we didn't have computer. So I kind of like took advantage of that when I started practicing as a professional artist. So I launched myself into social media. I joined people. A lot of folks here actually knew what Facebook was all about, And I definitely took advantage of that in the sense that I I I use it as a marketing tool for my idea on how it worked. And for me, it was like a blessing in so many ways because that was the best way for me to put my work out there for the world to see. And obviously, later on, we came across a couple of challenges here and there, and try to balance between personal life and social life. But I think for me, it was the best thing for my work. And at the time,
Hello, Colin?
way.
We're losing you, Colin. Uh,
So, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Colin, I'll come back to you because we're losing you. Check on your connection. But I want to ask our panelists, please don't type when you are talking. It's actually affecting the feedback if you can. Whilst we're on this panel, that'd be great. But Colin, there was something you were saying. I'm going to use a segue into the next question about that balancing that personal life and basically your passion and what you are pursuing is because it's a very important aspect of Giant Steps and what we've been talking about. So I'm going to ask all our panelists that question: how have you found that balance? Family and in doing what you do. Has it been challenging? Have you found that balance? What are the difficulties? How have you been able to overcome some of these challenges in trying to find balance between your personal life and what you are doing? Nadine?
Hi. Yes, I think finding the biggest challenge is finding the time to spend with loved ones, and then also that feeling that you don't want to disappoint people, because what happens is, I mean, especially if you're in a relationship with someone and you have to cancel all the time, or you think you can make it and you can't, or you suddenly have to be in another city or country. I mean, it's pretty tough. But I think it's really being proactive in making that time, because there have been instances where I haven't seen a friend for a few months, but then and I have a deadline coming, but then decided to go and hang out with a friend. Because at times it just gets too much, where you feel like, okay, you kind of need that social support as well. So with me, we have a big extended family. We're one of those families where your cousins are like your siblings and your aunts and uncles are important. So family time, it's really important to make the time for that. And I mean, it is challenging because there is always that feeling of you don't want to disappoint these people. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, great. Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you, Nadine.
Elsie, I want to put the question to you. Have you found balance?
Can you repeat? I didn't hear you.
I say I want to put the question to you. Have you found balance? And how are you?
This is the biggest challenge, I guess, because you always need to because it's a passion. You love what you do, and like it's your, I don't want to say job because I don't consider what I do as a job, but you're always into it, and that's the most difficult thing, because you need to create the limit, where work stop and where like private life start, like, because with the smartphone now, you're always connected, you always receive a notification, somebody asking you a question, an email coming in, and people from the team, like from my team, reaching me, and that's the biggest challenge, I'm married, I have 2 kids, and I travel a lot, and that's the balance to find. when do you take the family with you in project, when you don't, which project you accept, what is the deadline. Sometimes people, they reach me and they say, man, we want you to come to the other side of the world, but in 3 days. And you're like, even if it's sometimes good or a nice project, you cannot accept. And right now, what I'm trying to do is to plan and put a schedule as as in advance as I can. So from now, like until the next 6 months, I know what I will be and what I will be doing. And if there's something coming we was not expected, like I just regret to not accept it. You need to impose that on yourself, otherwise, like it's too hard to manage. And yeah, like families is the most important thing. And if you don't have the family to back you up, I mean, I won't be able to do what I do today.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
So I'll just do a quick follow-up question to that.
do a quick follow-up question to that.
If you can give the folks that have giant steps, and I think LCD started by saying planning ahead and being able to know your schedule. If all of you can give us 2 approaches that you've used to find that balance.
2 approach. Like the first one, I would say, like, don't say yes to everything. You should. I don't know. As an artist, I think you need to have you need to build a strategic plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is the main? I don't want to sound business-wise. Like I think this is my business background that's talking now. But if you want to live from what you love, if you're like motivated to, I don't know, you have an aspiration, you have like a goal, and you want to go through this, and I don't know, change the world. I would say, like, with what you love, you need to, you need to put yourself and decide, what is the best way to achieve and to reach where you want to go. So I guess you need to sit down and write it down. That's really important. And the same thing is like when you've done that, just try to stick to it. Don't accept whatever comes. Like just try to be fidel. I don't know if you say fidel, trustworthy to yourself. And work, and at some point you will pay. I guess. I hope for everybody.
Nadine?
Hi, was the question how to create a balance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also I think it is to set limits for yourself, because sometimes people just end up taking and taking if you're not going to say no, right? So I mean, I do things like I don't like to, unless it's an emergency, I don't want to be talking about projects after 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And yeah, I mean, and then trying to know when to take a break, I guess. I mean, that's difficult. I think especially when you're starting out. But I like what Alcide said in terms of, okay, where do you want to be, right? And you can't say yes to everything. So I think once you've set out for yourself, then all the debris is kind of just going to fall off on you. I think it's about becoming more focused in what you want to achieve, and then setting just practical limits on a daily basis. Like, after this time I'm not answering my phone, or I mean, I've also had people say that to me, like, please don't call me at this time, or I'm going away from Friday to Monday, I'm not going to be available. And I think that's really brave to say that.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you a final question, and then we'll take 2 questions from the room. We've lost Colin and Nicole, but thank you to Elsie and Nadine. Marcus, if you could actually put the camera on in the room so they see the folks in the room. If you could turn the computer, that would be great. Our final question is about it really concerns everybody in this room, is because we're in a room that people do what they love, and they love what they do. And so what is very much also a question of balance is, how do you how do you make certain choices in terms of your life values, your values and being passionate and success? How do you make choices? I know sometimes some people say, oh, you know, I have to do this, I have to compromise and do this, say yes to certain things to be able to achieve a certain level of success. So how have you found that to be? Has it been difficult? Has it been easy? What have you had to stand on to say that these are my values? As much as I want success, this is what I can or cannot do? Or how do you do that? Basically, how have you connected your work with your life's value, your life values?
Um,
Elsie?
well, I feel, oh,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's fine.
Elsie? Elsie, unmute yourself, please.
Now I was saying woman first, you know, I'm a gentleman, but okay. So the thing is, I guess, you know, when you're an artist or like when you're like in any creative work, what comes out is a reflection of you. You know what I mean? And at some point, your work is your representation, and that's the only way that you would compromise. I think the only experience that I had when you ask yourself this question, am I compromising on my value and principle? You know what is it? It's when it's about money. You know, like if you're like in a like you're struggling financially and there is like a good opportunity coming, maybe you would be like, okay, you know, actually I know this is not this is not the value and principle that I represent, but I need to take this, you know. And that's a tough decision. That's a really tough decision. Me today, I got, you know, like I did 2 years ago like this collaboration with this brand Louis Vuitton, and after that I swear like I got so many people asking me to do anything, like so the biggest brand, you know, and I'm not interested into this, you know. And that's even if sometimes like what they're proposing you is like shining and you're like, oh wow, that's amazing, you know, I can do a lot of stuff with this. I think if you do that, like you just shoot yourself. And I think it's better as an artist to always look the long-term thing, you know, instead of just trying to make 1, 2, 3 shots and then totally disappear from the art world. So it's tough, you know, it's tough to make the right decision. But I think, you know, like when you have a hard decision to take like that, you need to ask people around you. You always need to create a circle of people and get their opinion. You know, like there's always like the voice of wisdom around you, but you need to find it.
Great. I think that's a great answer.
I think that's a great answer. Having that
Circle of trust, people who you can gain wisdom from.
Nadine?
Hi, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. Firstly, how do you platform to promote? Because film is a visual medium, right? So to me, it's important to create new images of people who have been stereotyped in society, especially in the Western Cape Town, where people are presented a certain way by your commercial media and so on. So that's my thing of creating new images of people, and presenting people in a dignified manner in their own voices, right? There have been times where I have made wrong decisions, especially in terms of who I've worked with, like who I've said yes to work with. And there was a time where I did 1 or 2 episodes for a television series and then actually asked them to take my name off the credits because after watching the show, I felt like I wasn't aligned to the ideologies they were trying to push. So that's the thing. And then also, you know, here in South Africa, you know, it's like sometimes they will just employ you because you're a person of color, so then to get the numbers right, that's why you suddenly find yourself on a team. And then I've had, those experiences, and then the thing is just to leave, and then not to work with those people again. I think you have to take very strong stances, and it's not always pretty, but you have to, stick to your guns kind of thing.
Thank you so much. Marcus, can you unmute the room? I want Nadine and Elsie to hear appreciation from the audience. Thank you very much for answering these questions. Okay, you can mute them now. Okay, no, actually, don't mute it yet, because we are going to take we can only take one question, unfortunately, because we're running out of time. So we'll take one question from the audience, and please make sure you direct the video to who it is that is asking the question.
I want to know, do you feel global?
Wait, hold on a second. We're going to try something different. Whoever is going to ask the question is going to come to the computer. That's technology. So there's no feedback. So come to the computer, we'll see your face. It's much easier. You don't need a microphone. We can barely hear you. Are you at the computer? Oh.
A microphone too. I want to know, do you feel global?
We can't hear you well. Hold on. We can't hear you well when you... No, hold on. Sorry. We cannot hear you well when you use the microphone. So you can't use the microphone. Come again? What's going on over there? I hope your question is not sabotage. Okay. Marcus? Okay. Oh, I think she's coming to join me here, and she's going to ask a question. This is going to be fantastic. Is she coming here? Yeah. Wonderful.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to know, do you feel global? Has art changed for you to expand outside the boundaries of your country?
Did you get the question?
Yeah.
Okay, so any of you can take it.
Well, I think yes, I do feel global, and sometimes you make films in a certain language, those people or that community, and then it's quite certainly different to that they've identified with film.
Nadine?
Yes.
One second,
Yes.
Marcus. Sorry for the challenges.
No.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
No.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nadine.
Oh,
Go ahead,
I was
Nadine.
saying, yes, I do feel global. Sometimes you can make a film, you're making it for specific community, specific language, and only those people are going to appreciate it. And then it's totally surprising when someone from a different country tells you that they've enjoyed the film or that they identify with it. That happened to me when I was 18. 19, I made a film called Miseducation. It was a short film, and it was about how it was a fiction film about how gangsters come into the classrooms in Cape Town and they disrupt the learning process, and then at the end of the film the learners take charge of their own education. And that won first prize at a small film festival in Los Angeles. But people there identified with that film, and that to me was totally unexpected. Yeah, but I think it's because certain emotions are just universal. So people might not understand the situation or the language, but there's some emotion that we connect on.
Final word, Elsie? Answer to the question, and then any final word. You have to unmute yourself, sorry.
Me again, not used to it. Sorry. So yeah, I was saying I do feel global, even if my art is related to Arabic script. I don't translate my work anymore. So because I believe there is a beauty in Arabic script that anybody can feel, you know, and you don't need to translate this beauty. I think there's a universal language that anybody can understand. So, but I try to be global in a way that every place that I go to, like from Brazil to South Africa to Australia or France, I always make sure that the message that I'm writing is coming from the place I'm painting. You know? So the message become relevant to the place, but you always have this universal dimension that anybody around the world can relate to the message. So in this way, I guess I'm global.
You can say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Marcus, you can unmute the room now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go on with the day. Thank you, Elsie. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, everybody. And hopefully,
Thanks to you guys.
2016. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Bye guys. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.